Sphinx from to right, and Joe Burrows going for the early effort. Lavin doing well to get away with his boot to the near post. Coventry Sphinx with a fast and furious start here at Sphinx Drive. Just joining us here, welcome to live coverage of Coventry Sphinx versus Hinckley LRFC. Sky Blue starting very well with Joe Blowers on the effort as the near post saved by Hinckley #1, Joe Lavin. Woodward in from the left-hand side with the corner. It dips over the crossbar. Let's get you through the starting lineups now, starting with Hinckley. Number 1, Jake Levin. 2, Andrew Woolridge. 3, Louis Gill. 4, Captain Joe Lyne. 5, Jake Warmlayton. Number 6, Ben Humphrey. 7, Jordan Burrows. 8 is Simon Olcott. 9, Liam Reid. 10, Don Brennan. 11, Michael Armstrong. And for Coventry Sphinx, number 1, Charlie Woods. 2, Joe Percy. 3, Finley Shark. Number 4, Fortune Mafosa. 5 is Ronnie Nicholson. 6, Jamie Draper. 7, making his 100th Sphinx appearance, is Jordan Hayward. Captain Callum Woodward is number 8. 9, Harry Wakefield. 10, Kyle Carey. And 11, Joe Blowers. Put still field by Line. Across his own backyard by Nicholson and collected by Louis Gill. Hooked up field by Callum Woodward. No nonsense defending from the Sphinx legend. An awkward bounce at the back, but Jake Warmlayton taking no chances and sending it home to Laban. Woolridge. Burrows on the march, but sent over the Willie Nibs stand, and after a throw-in by Finley Sharrock, knocking on the door of the Sphinx penalty area. Woolridge. Straight out by Sharrock, a couple of yards further up line. That'll be another throw-in for Hinckley. Warmlayton. Slip through for Woolridge. Woolridge gets the cross away and challenged header by Percy into relative safety. Brought down by Michael Armstrong, and Armstrong going for glory, drills it wide. Charlie Woods watched it trickle past the post. Some rather rowdy and vocal Hinckley LRFC fans in the corner of the Willie Nibs stand. Charlie Woods between the sticks. Centre of the park, Fosa. Couldn't flick it on with the head. Woolridge, and Simon Olcott's gone down with a head injury here. I think he may have hit the back of Fosa's head with his own. And an early stoppage in play after just 4 minutes at Sphinx Drive. As you can probably tell on the microphone, it is a pretty blustery afternoon in the Free-Spied City. The sun is shining, but the wind is blowing. And it is a day where Coventry Sphinx can seal Step 4 football next season. If rugby lose at Quorn, who are being crowned champions today at Farley Way, and Sphinx can gain a point, then Sphinx will be mathematically safe for another year. Draper clears from the edge of his own penalty area, looking for Wakefield, flies over the head of Olcott. Woolridge lets it go home to Laban. A couple of full-time scores to bring you from the Premier League. Everton 1, Arsenal 1. Coventry City took the lead in the 5th minute against Burnley, but lost 2-1 after a defensive mix-up in the second half. Leeds 1, Luton 1 at Kenilworth Road, and West Brom 0, Sunderland 1. Those are the full-time scores from the professional divisions. And the wind catching the ball pretty ferociously there from the kick from Laban. It's going to be playing against the wind in the first half, so can Sphinx take advantage? Down the left-hand side, Hinckley look for just a cut in from the left. Reid. Brennan. Denied entry to the area, one-on-one, Joe Percy stabbing it out. Humphreys. Does he fancy a crack at it long range? He's got a sea of sky blue in front of him. Louis Gill. Down line with Don Brennan. Cushion to line. Alcott. Chested down by Don Brennan. Burrows. And a chance to unleash fury from Michael Armstrong. A chance he gratefully accepts. And it's a goal that Coventry Sphinx will be disappointed that they've conceded. Always difficult for any goalkeeper when the wind catches the ball like that. But Armstrong won't care. They all count. Hinckley LRFC taking an early lead at Sphinx Drive through Michael Armstrong as they continue their push for the top half. Six minutes in and already Sphinx. Hayward. It's across the back line. He's maintaining possession. It's a poor ball by Gill, collected by Callum Woodward on the halfway line. Hayward couldn't knock it to Wakefield. Armstrong mops it up at the back. There's Lavin, Hinckley #1. Sphinx 2-0 victors over Hinckley at the Leicester Road Stadium earlier in the season. That scoreline won't be repeated. The win being a detriment to Lavin's kick. And it goes for a throw for Coventry Sphinx. Sharp tried to take a quick one to Harry Wakefield, but nothing doing on that one. Referee's called it back. Shark. Wakefield tries to run it back towards Joe Blowers. Set it by Lime. So looking to battle through. Shark. Knocked out for a throw-in, level with the penalty area. Hinckley Leicester Road in orange. Sphinx in their usual sky blue and white with the navy shorts and socks. Slide in by Callum Woodward. Didn't take it away from the Hinckley striker. But Percy doesn't hook it along the right touchline. Flicks up with the head of Wakefield. No one behind him. He wants a free kick there. As Alcott got a little too handsy for Wakefield's liking. It's back with Labin, and again taking every exquisite second in collecting that ball. But it to Joe Line, the Hinckley skipper, and son of Neil Line, the Hinckley manager. It's been a different season for Hinckley. They have been hoping to push on towards football again. Carey. That was knocked over in the LA there. And Kyle Carey with an off-colour effort for the Sphinx top scorer. High and not at all handsome. Jake Levin will take the goal kick. Down the middle it goes. Falls to Callum Woodward for Coventry Sphinx. Hayward trying to sneak behind the back line and forces Simon Alcott to launch it towards the new housing estate. In fact, off two of the new houses. Off one roof onto the other. Well, that's going to be a potential hazard for defenders next season once the estate is finished. Throw in level with the penalty area for Coventry Sphinx. In fact, no, it's a little bit further back. Woodward looks for Mafosa. Nodded away by Line, who can claim it in the midfield. It's with the Hinckley top scorer, Reed, 14 goals this season. Gill pirouettes around last season's Player of the Year, Joe Percy. Was he trying to curl it over Charlie Woods there, or perhaps looking for the run of Liam Reed? Either way, it's Charlie Woods' ball between the six. Percy. Crossfield pass towards Kyle Carey. Nodded beyond Carey and out for a throw-in, halfway into Hinckley territory by Jake Wormleighton. Into defenders, trying to flick it up with his head. Wormleighton gets his bounce on that one, cleared by line. Fosa to Callum Woodward. Shorrock. Easy first line clearance by Wormleighton, but again the wind preventing Hinckley from getting any kind of distance on that ball. Leaping head on Shorrock. Headed up by Olcott. Another volley, it's Percy! Tipped over the woodwork by Levin. Well, that would have been a late contender for goal this season from last season's Player of the Year. What an effort that was from Joe Percy. And Sphinx super fan Noah trying to shield the troops as Callum Woodward heads over to take this corner kick. Percy earned the corner, but he's not going to stay up for it. He's headed for the centre circle. The rest of the Sphinx contingent in and around that area. And return to sender by Joe Line. Another corner will follow. Woodward lines up again. Shorrock offering the short option. It's over Mafosa. It was towards Harry Wayfield, prevented from getting to Wayfield by the head of Olcott. Back in by Hayward. Mafosa couldn't bring it down and cleared on the far side for a Sphinx throw-in level with the box. And they're going to enlist the long throw of Riley Nicholson. Nicholson launches towards that near post, and Laban with a safe gather. Sphinx not attacking that throw-in as vigorously as they could have. 21 gone at the Sphinx Industrial Supplies Arena. Hinckley Leicester Road leading by 1-0. Laban's delivery towards Reed. Nicholson's header ends any kind of danger for now. It's opposite number 5, Wormleighton. Let it trickle out for a throw-in deep into Hinckley territory at the other end. Thrown from Woolwich. Reed felt he was being held from behind by Shorrock, may have had a point. Carey, tangle of legs with Line. Reed pirouette, finds Line again. The run being made by Don Brennan, shoulder to shoulder with Jamie Draper. Draper wins that foot race. And Charlie Woods with a competent kick down the heart of the field. Not into the centre circle for Gill to volley on towards Liam Reed. Shorrock with the interception. Reed looking for an option out wide. Looking for goal scorer Michael Armstrong. Woodward. Wayfield receives. They've not been able to play Harry Wayfield as much as they would have liked so far. Sandwich between a rock and a hard place, and eventually out-muscled by Wormleighton. I believe it was Olcott back getting involved too. Cleared as far as ahead of Shorrock. Hayward tried to bring it off, he was blasted away from right under his nose by Simon Olcott. Carey, Percy wanted it out wide, but they're going short to finish Shorrock and just swatted aside by Jake Wormleighton. Wormleighton feels that it was fair game, but it was an errant arm from the Hinckley number 5 on the left corner of the area, and I think the referee, Mr. Price, right to give the decision to Coventry Sphinx. Captain fantastic, Sphinx legend, Callum Woodward, looking to get his team back on the right track on 24 minutes. is in the centre circle. Towards a congested far post and over the long one and out. Not a free kick routine to be proud of for the sky blue and whites. And there has been a goal at Farley Way, and it's good news for the sky blue and white. Ryan Bezic, the player manager, has put Quorn in front. As we said earlier, if Coventry Sphinx were to lose, and as long as Rugby were to lose, they would still be pretty much safe, except for goal difference. So it would go to next week. Before Coventry Sphinx can confirm their step 4 status, but in all honesty, Coventry Sphinx are pretty much safe, as the free kick given there against Fortune Mafosa, a bit too heavy-handed in trying to out-muscle Joe Lyon from that goal kick. Ironically, it was the last day of last season where Coventry Sphinx got a crucial, well, they looked like they were going to get a crucial draw until the last couple of minutes against Hinckley. They needed something on the last day to stay up. They remained safe by goal difference alone that day. Sphinx would like to ensure safety against Hinckley for a second time in 2 years. Reed with the back heel in the area, collected by Draper. Wakefield turns the defender, but Warm Leighton will trickle out for a throw just before Wakefield could get there on the clearance. Let's take through the latest scores here at Sphinx Drive. Rushden Diamonds 0, Worcester City 0, Anstey 0, Lye 0, Bedworth 0, Loughborough Students 0, Boldmere 0, Coleshill 0, Corby 1, Sutton Coldfield 0, Grantham 0, Wellingborough 0, Long Eaton 0, Racing Club Warwick 1, Quorn 1, Rugby 0, and Shepshed 0, Sporting Cowser 0. Draper handball claims against Reed. Referee says nothing doing. Switch of the play. It's collected by Louis Gill. And beyond the back line, surely offside is Liam Reed. Indeed he is. Looks to the linesman in bemusement. And the Hinckley supporters in the left corner of the Willie Nibs stand, aiming some abuse towards the linesman. I'm not entirely sure what they're unhappy about, because it was a clear offside. Joe Percy with the slide challenge on Louis Gill. The final touch coming off the Hinckley left back. Despite Gill's protests. Here's Charlie Woods. Leighton wins that aerial ball. Carey tries to flick it away from line. Blowers. Woodward, the space out wide for Joe Percy. Here is Percy for a rare Coventry Sphinx attack. Was he going for glory there? He wasn't. It was just sneaking in. It was just sneaking in. At the near post, and Lavin had to scramble over and tap it wide. Percy with 2 audacious attempts this afternoon, and only the goalkeeper, Jake Lavin, has prevented Percy from an unlikely brace. Shorrock. Was that for first? Wakefield, well, nods it wide. Wind actually blowing the ball off the edge of the 6-yard box and having to replace it. Here is Jake Lavin. Skews straight onto the chest of Neil Lyon, the Hinckley manager. Results in a throw in a couple of yards into Sphinx territory. Carey. Wood switching the play. Percy heads on, looks for Jordan Hayward, but nodded clear by Alcott. Reed backed into Ronnie Nicholson, but to the loose ball collected by Callum Woodward. Back to Charlie Woods, who lobs it back into the midfield. Mafosa sees it coming all the way and heads it on. Only as far as Olcott. Simon Olcott looking for the plethora of Hinckley attackers. Reed wrestles past Nicholson. Still going Liam Reed. Still going Liam Reed. Hits the back of Jamie Draper. And Shark blasts the clearance out off Andrew Woolridge for a Coventry Sphinx throw deep into their own backyard. And this could be a big scoreline for Ipswich. They lead Wolverhampton Wanderers by 1-0 through Liam Delap in the Premier League. Ipswich, you have to feel the more likely of the three promoted sides to stay up, but it's still not very likely. Finney Shark took a few too many yards and a yellow card for taking too many yards on a throw. That is particularly harsh for Mr. Price. The throw is now taken. It's back with Charlie Woods, who skews it right to actually falls to the feet of Joe Percy. Percy's clearance cannons off the back of Gill. Brennan floats one towards Liam Reed. Nicholson nods it into the centre circle. Line. Woolridge waiting on the right-hand side. Runs it into touch with a bit of help from Kyle Carey on the shoulder. Callum Woodward. Coming off by Burrows, but finds Shark, tries to switch the play to Percy. Percy nods on, but it's straight between Wakefield and Hayward. Skyblue might have got it back in the midfield. Here's Mafosa. Carey. Blowers. Oh, look for Finney Shark out wide. Cut out by Woolridge. Coventry aren't going to be denied. Well, they are now. Woolridge thumping it up line. As Blowers was the intended target for that pass. Shark, heavy touch, takes it into the path of Woolridge. And Shark charges down the intended clearance. It bounces on the line rather than over it, and Wakefield in towards Jordan Hayward. Had the goal at his mercy with the headed effort, but couldn't hit the target. What a way to celebrate 100 Sphinx appearances that would have been. The goalkeeper, his clearance was towards the head of Woolridge, but he couldn't keep within the confines of play. Throw into Sphinx, about 10 yards into Hinckley territory, and again Mr. Price getting rather anal about the position of the throw. He's already booked Finney Shark for taking a throw in out of position, which was particularly harsh. Mafosa getting down and dirty with Brennan, and he's eventually barged over by, I believe it was Jordan Burrows. Not taking too kind to that bit of physicality from the former Worcester midfielder. As the Hinckley fans who are in jubilant mood so far after 33 minutes, they lead by 1-0. They look to extend that with Burrows making the run down the left-hand side of the area. He's kept it in. Faintest of hands in the back of the Hinckley man by Jamie Draper, and the referee has given a throw into Sphinx rather than a free kick, and rightly so. Long ball towards Wakefield doesn't seem to be working in this first half. Sphinx keep trying it, trying to play the striker into the game, but it's not happened. A soft free kick given by the referee there for a little barge in from the side by Armstrong on Finney Shark. There's been a couple of goals in the Northern Premier League Midlands, which we'll let you know about in a moment. Woodward to Shark from the free kick. Carey. Those wants it played through. He tried to reciprocate the demand, but it was under hit from Carey. Mafosa into the aerial duel with the goal scorer in Armstrong. And so it's Mafosa who's out-muscled. That doesn't happen easily. Percy. Mafosa over the back line, looking for Wakefield, headed away as far as Fortune. Mafosa speaks out in all the efforts over the last 10 minutes or so, but they can't test Laban. We'll be going off there at half-time in about 10 minutes for a quick break, so get yourself back here for 4 o'clock with a glass of something cold. It's going to be a second half to remember. I can feel it. Mafosa. Going to steer it through for Callum Woodward. Something its tracks. Mafosa gets it back, and Alcott with his... Humphreys with his hand around the sternum of Fortune Mafosa, and Coventry Sphinx have got the free kick. Joining us next to the gantry is last season's top scorer Matty Shipman, who'll be set to go next season. His triumphant comeback to Sphinx Drive. And Hinckley a little too unhappy about the awarding of that free kick, and surprise, surprise, Callum Woodward, the captain's involved too. Will always protect his teammates and his club like a lion. Sphinx, although imperfect in the opening 35 minutes, have had the most opportunities. It was a hit and hope, really, from the Hinckley winger Michael Armstrong that has separated the two sides. And Shorrock looks to get Hinckley back in arm's length. Short towards Jordan Hayward, nodded across his own backyard by line. Wakefield on the far side. Keeping the fullback at bay. Here's Carey, look for the through ball to Callum Woodward. Denied by Gill. And back with Joe Percy. Here's Nicholson, space out wide for Shorrock. Closed down by line. Shorrock lofts it towards Fortune Mafosa, it's bounced behind Mafosa. And Rawridge ensures it won't go out for the corner, but does concede the throw, level with the box. Running long throw. And again, Laban, for the third time in 3 long throws, just comes out and picks it out of the air at the near post. Maintain their 1-goal advantage. Elsewhere in the pitching in Northern Premier League Midlands, AFC Russia and Diamonds lead Worcester by 2 goals to nil. Very surprising scoreline there at Hayden Road. Anstey 0, Lye 0. Coventry play Anstey on the last day of the season here at Sphinx Drive on the 26th of April. Bedworth 0, Loughborough 0, Boldmere 0, Coleshill 0, Corby 2, Sutton Coldfield 1, Grantham 0, Wellingborough 0, Long Eaton 1, Racing Club Warwick 1, Quorn 1, Rugby 0, and Shepshed 0, Sporting Castle 1. So as it stands, although Coventry Sphinx are losing, they would be safe in everything but the numbers due to their vastly superior goal difference over Rugby. With 4 for Rugby to play, Sphinx would be 12 points clear with 20 goals and goal difference in their back pocket. So that would surely send Sphinx into step 4 next season, and Rugby would then have to fight it out with Bedworth for survival. Wakefield. Off the shoulder to Kyle Carey, back to Harry Wakefield. A few step overs, Wakefield takes it in into the side netting. First sniff the Wayfields had all day. Sphinx have tried the long ball over the back to Wakefield, trying to catch out that offside trap. It hasn't worked. They finally play the ball to Wakefield's feet and they get results. Made by Lavin. Woolridge up for it, and Woolridge got the last touch. It's out in front of the home dugout, taken quickly towards Wakefield. Carey flicked onto Joe Blowers. Runs into Olcott. Mafosa, that's a delightful long ball onto the chest of Jordan Hayward. Covered up by Olcott, and Olcott's got a net and slide in by Joe Percy. Takes it out for a throw-in, level with the area in favour of Humphreys for Hinckley. Brennan. Humphreys. Chip pass down the left-hand side. Nicholson told to get it out of there and does. Hooks it along this near touchline. Percy tries to keep it in. It just bounces on his foot as it was over the line. And Louis Gill for the Knitters. So called due to Hinckley's part in the knitting industry in the centuries gone by. Reed sets up line, blocked up by his opposite number 4 in Mafosa. This pass cannons off Woodward, and line bounces agonisingly wide of the bottom of the post. Charlie Wood was not reaching that one. It looked for a moment as if it was just tucking into the bottom corner. 5 to go until half time. It's still 1-0 to Hinckley, goal in the opening 5 minutes. Back where it came from by Wumlate. Percy mops up the seconds. Hayward the target for that long ball. It's over Jordan Hayward and over Ben Humphreys. Lavin collects for Hinckley LRFC. The LR in LRFC, of course, standing for Leicester Road, which was the original name of the club. It was formed back in 2013 after the liquidation of Hinckley United. Shark. Over the head of Blowers from the throw. Woolridge. Shark steams in, and as far as Wormleighton. Down the right it goes, headed back where it came from by Nicholson on the halfway line. It's Olcott. Mafosa. Spots Jordan Hayward down the right-hand side, and Hayward just evades catcher from Humphreys. And Humphreys launches in with a challenge. Took enough of the ball, but leaves Hayward in a heap. The referee stops play just to check that Hayward is okay. Humphreys makes his apologies. Hayward dusts himself off and gets back in the action. Joe Percy going for the long-range spectacular, the Gunnarsson Special as they call it in Coventry. Percy towards that near post, diving header clear by Don Brennan. Carey, second delivery. Sharks arriving at the far post. Shark locks it in, and Jamie Draper couldn't send it home. Blows across the face of goal. Clicks on the offside by Shark, and the offside flags up. Draper will have a better chance to score this season. Into the last couple of minutes at Sphinx Drive in the first half at least. Jake Levin. And Mafosa, towering header. Straight into touch. Callum Woodward. It's off the chest of Humphreys. Hayward trying to get onto it, and he does. Beats Gill to the punch. Can he make an impact from the right? And it's palmed away by Jake Laban. Hinckley keeper has been by far the more tested of the two. And he's keeping his clean sheet intact. And Lavin coming out to punch. Was he obstructed by Hayward? Yes, he was. It was whipped in from the left-hand side by Finley Shorrock. There will be a free kick to Hinckley in their own penalty area. Lavin. Mafosa heads the blowers on the halfway line. Finley Shorrock on the left wing. Hayward and carry of swap wings, and it is Jordan Hayward looking to collect. Swings at it. Didn't take a touch off the Hinckley man on the way out. No, it didn't. Goal kick. Looked to get the cross in from the left-hand side, but crowded out. And the referee blows for half-time. Not really a first half. The Coventry Sphinx wants to remember. They tested Lavin late on in the first half, but it was an errant strike from Hinckley's number 11, Michael Armstrong, which separates the two sides at the break. Half-time at Sphinx Drive, Coventry Sphinx 0, Hinckley 1. Here at Sphinx Drive, half-time score, Coventry Sphinx 0, Hinckley Leicester Road 1. We can already see Coventry Sphinx getting their changes ready for, well, not right now, but the next 5 or 10 minutes or so. See Jack Downs and Jack Redhead stripping off and preparing for an imminent introduction. But half-time score is 1-0 to Hinckley. Coventry Sphinx now kicking from right to left with the wind against them, so it's going to be a hard slog in this second half, but there were promising signs in the last 15 minutes of that first half. So let's see what the boys in sky blue and white can do. Remember, survival is on the line. If Sphinx can get a share of the spoils, as it stands, Rugby are losing at Quorn. So if Sphinx can get an equaliser, they would be safe from relegation. So no changes to either side as the second half is underway. Charlie Woods on the ball for Coventry Sphinx. Fosa. So it bounces away from Jordan Hayward and thumped upfield by Humphreys. Reed will give chase. And here is Liam Reed, sneaks in behind Jamie Draper, halts his run, curls it to the edge of the penalty area, but fired away by Finley Shorrock. It's for Hayward on the far side of the field, hooked on by Hayward. And Line gives it away in the centre circle to Joe Blowers, intercepts. Shorrock takes over from Blowers. Fortuna Foster space out wide for Percy. Percy. And Blowers, sang of legs with Simon Olcott, and the referee gives the free kick. Blowers would have had free rein in the penalty area if he'd gone away. The young Hinckley contingent showing at the referee, Mr. Price, he doesn't know what he's doing. I think he's got that one bang on. Even members of the Coventry Sphinx contingent agreeing. And obviously here at Coventry Sphinx Media, we are impartial. We always give referees the respect they deserve. Callum Woodward is going to take ownership of this free kick. He's got Shorrock short. And the sizable presence of Mafosa in the danger zone, or does he fancy it himself? It's Woodward and Jordan Hayward with his second headed attempt of the game. This one not as close as the previous effort. Loops over the crossbar. Let's have a look for the latest scores in the Northern Premier League Midlands. Rushden Diamonds 2, Worcester City 0, Anstey Nomads 1, Lytown 0, Bedworth United 0, Loughborough Students 0, Boldmere St Michael's 0, Coleshill Town 0, Corby Town 2, Sutton Coldfield Town 1, Grantham Town 0, Wellingborough 1. So Grantham, as it stands, will be relegated today. Awkward pass back to Laban. He's got to get this one away from Harry Wakefield, and Wakefield's presence forces an error from Laban, who slices it out level with the penalty area for a Coventry Sphinx throw. The other scores: Long Eaton 1, Racing Club Warwick 2, Quorn 1, Rugby 0. That's a crucial one for Sphinx. We'll keep an eye on that in the second half. And Shepshed 0, Sporting Council 1. The long throw coming from Riley Nicholson. Hoofed in by Nicholson towards Mafosa at the near post. Armstrong's header away. Nicholson couldn't bring it to feet. Down the right it goes from Olcott. Racing onto it is Michael Armstrong, the scorer of the opening goal for Hinckley. Will he be involved in the second? And a pretty pathetic dive really from Michael Armstrong. Laughs it off as he doesn't get the decision going his way. Shake of the head. And Callum Woodward letting Armstrong know that he's not impressed. May have worked for Tom Daly, it's not going to work for Michael Armstrong. Shorrock. Woolridge heads to it before Blowers. Safely back with Charlie Woods from Fortuna Foster, dropping into the back line there. Woods, his kick stopped in the wind by Ben Humphreys. Gill pirouettes away from Hayward. Humphreys, a wayward ball down the left-hand side. Sphinx throw just into their own half of the field. Percy for Harry Wakefield, knocks it down for Jordan Hayward, but snatched away from Hayward by Joe Line. And out of play for another throw in virtually the same position as the last one after Line's lob out of danger. We'll take you through the professional scores in a moment as well. There have been a few goals in the Premier League. Percy. Humphrey's header collected by Carey, tries to lob it over the back line. Blowers trying to reach it before Woolridge, but Woolridge has done well to hook it upfield. Reed gives chase, and Nicholson just gets enough of the header back to Charlie Woods. Quick throw from Woods to finish short, closed down by Woolridge. Blowers, neat touch, tried to chip it towards Sky Blue's shirt, but there wasn't one. It's collected by Dom Brennan. Space out wide with a switch of the play. Woolridge in, flashes across the face of goal. That crossed no one home except the diminutive Jordan Burrows. Goal kick it will be. So in the Premier League, Everton 1, Arsenal 1, a full-time score. Crystal Palace 1, Brighton 1, Ipswich 1, Wolves 0, and West Ham 0, Bournemouth 1. Woods, Wakefield knocks it down with a head. Joe Blowers playing a slightly higher line in the second half. Plays it behind Shark, but he'll track back and collect. Chest control from Carey. Sends it high for Wakefield. And Will Leighton just able to get his bonds to it. Out as far as Finley Shark. Mafosa wants it to feet. Pirouettes away from Brennan. Took it a little too close to comfort for Reed. Draper upfield, but his opposite number 6 in Ben Humphreys deals with it for now. And it will be a throw-in to Hinckley in front of the Willie Nib stand. Changes are coming for Coventry Sphinx. Sight Downs and Redhead preparing. That's a great knockdown by Shorrock to Joe Blowers. Blowers plays it behind Shorrock, but still crossing opportunity remains for Coventry Sphinx. Shorrock steadies himself and straight into the hands of Jake Lowen. Nothing that the Hinckley number 1 can't gather. Laban. That's a fantastic kick and a great touch. Brennan's in there. It won't reach him. Corner kick diverted out by Percy, I believe. Liam Reed trying to cross it into the path of his strike partner, Don Brennan. Delivery from the left-hand side for Hinckley. And Woods, he was crowded out, but Gavity's lost the ball, it's smacked in. But the referee has pulled it back. It won't count from the boot of Jordan Burrows. Thought he got lucky there, the ball was under the control of Charlie Woods. Woods drifts to the left-hand side. Line. Heads on towards Reed. Reed has just got his toe to it. Slips it down the right-hand side for Burrows. Shorrock gets there first. And fires towards the centre circle. Humphreys will bring it down and volley it straight on. And bounces away from Don Brennan down the middle of the goal to Charlie Woods, who will mop it up for Coventry Sphinx. Extra space out wide for Shorrock from Woods' throw. Sphinx playing out from the back. Nicholson pulls Reed away and returns to Shorrock. Smacked off the arm of Woolridge. Nicholson will collect. Sphinx wasting a bit of time here. Woods. And the volley by Mafosa. Wakefield tries to get on the end of it, and Wakefield shoulder to shoulder with Olcott. Olcott just able to get his body in front of Wakefield and claw it away. Out it goes for the corner. I think it has gone out for the corner. The Hinckley defender doing his job as Wakefield smelled blood in the water. Carey offering the short option, and the referee is going to pull out the yellow card here for Warmlake. It's a red card! A second yellow! Referee Harry Price has sent off the Hinckley man, and a yellow card for Joe Line. Dominic Brennan with 2 quick-fire yellow cards, I can only imagine for dissent. And he's heading for an early bath with still 35 minutes to play. Now Sphinx have got to give it everything. Hinckley reduced to 10. Brennan off the field. Sphinx can get going. It's Woodward towards that far post. Mafosa trying to get his head in it. Nodded clear by Wumlayton. Louis Gill. Crossfield ball intercepted by Nicholson. Takes it a little too close. And Nicholson's gone down holding his knee. And the referee's going to pull it back here. Nicholson and Armstrong both in a heat. There was a tangle of legs there, wrapping each other's knees around the other, I believe. And both men are in significant pain here. Jake Lavin also looks like he's going to need some help as he's lying down the edge of his penalty area. Well, Boldmere have just taken the lead at their game at home to Coleshill Town. It's 1-0 there. Let's have a look through the latest table in the Northern Premier League Midlands. As it stands, Grantham are relegated on 17 points. Lie are then on 24, Rugby on 27, Bedworth on 32, and Coventry Sphinx on 39. Remember, Sphinx have played a game more than the teams around them because their scheduled fixture with Walsall Wood will not be taking place for obvious reasons. So with 3 to play for Coventry Sphinx and 4 for the teams around them, a 12-point buffer at the moment isn't enough to mathematically guarantee safety, so Sphinx still need an equaliser to do that. But as it stands, there is I believe, if my maths are right, a 24-goal swing in Sphinx's favour in the goal difference. So in everything but the numbers, Coventry Sphinx would be safe today if Rugby are unable to take any points from Quorn, which at the moment they're not. So Nicholson and Armstrong back on their feet. And we'll get underway with a drop ball. To the hour mark here at Sphinx Drive, still 1-0 Hinckley, but they are down to 10 men after Dominic Brennan received 2 quick-fire yellow cards. Mafosa in the centre circle. Here's Nicholson. Shark. The edge of the area now with Charlie Woods, the number 1 for the Sphinx. Such an unfortunate goal for him to concede in the early goings. Range hit from Armstrong, caught by the wind. Shark. Here's Nicholson. Sphinx need to start playing on the front foot here. They've got the numerical advantage. They're just knocking it around their own backyard at the moment. Callum Woodward. Blowers out wide with Jamie Draper. Down the middle it goes to Jordan Hayward, tries to find a route around Humphreys and can't do so. It's out of play in front of the William Nibs stand for a Hinckley throw halfway into their own turf. And Sphinx a little hesitant about making their first change. They were thinking about it, and Jack Downs is getting stripped off, but it's going to have to wait for a moment. Throw from Humphreys. Flicked on by Reed. Now Jordan Burrows looking for a crossing opportunity from the left-hand side, but needs to wait for Hinckley personnel to arrive. Down line with Louis Gill. Cross blocked by a sliding Woodward, but Gill's got it back. Only Blue in front of him. Burrows. Whipped in by Humphreys, and Warridge tried to flick it beyond the goalkeeper on the bounce, but Charlie Woods has gathered it. Kyle Carey. Mafosa tried to return to Carey, but it's blocked up by Warridge. Lob pass for Reed onto the chest of Riley Nicholson. Finney Shark. Wayfield's going to give chase. Harry Wakefield. Neat touch on the edge of the area. Joe Blowers. Across the box he goes, into the midfield area for Fortune Mafosa. Percy's already had 2 cracks this afternoon. Will the third time be a charm? Lofts it in towards Harry Wakefield. William Leighton's header does the job for now. Armstrong bounces through the centre circle, Reed's behind it, and it's with Charlie Woods now, the former Quorn number 1. Quorn celebrating their title victory today with a trophy presentation. Mafosa. Sent back where it came from by Gill. Woodward. Going to float it over for Jordan Hayward. Again, the defence doing enough. Burrows. Like a deeper roll now after the dismissal of Brennan. Sphinx have a throw and shepherded it out by Humphreys on the far side. Hinckley looking to use a bit of rough and readiness to keep Sphinx at bay. They're going to need something in these closing stages with 10 men now after Brennan's dismissal. Harry Wakefield. Woodward. And Hayward just beaten to the punch by Ben Humphreys. Tries to shield the ball into touch. Didn't have the legs on it, and his hands in the back on Jordan Hayward. And the free kick given on the right side of the area. Downs and Redhead are coming on, but they're going to wait until after this attacking move. Sphinx don't like making changes when they're on the assault. Hayward drew in the foul. It's up to Woodward to make the most of it. Everyone back for Hinckley. It'll be a back-to-the-wall job for the remaining half hour. Woodward. It's over the head of Draper at the far post, but Sharrock can send it back in. Towards Nicholson. Nicholson caught in the face, and the referee has actually headed the back of Woolridge's head, I believe. Here come the changes for Coventry Sphinx. Downs and Redhead on. So Mafosa and Blowers off. On come the 2 Jacks. Downs and Redhead, straight swaps. Downs in anchoring midfield alongside Callum Woodward, a bit more mobile than Mafosa. And Redhead pushing behind the strike force, replacing Joe Blowers. And Hinckley only have 4 subs on the bench today. They were unable to find a 5th. Charlie Woods between the 6 for Coventry Sphinx. Draper at right centre back. Barges into Reed, and that's actually knocked Draper into touch. Needless throw to give away for Coventry Sphinx. They need to start taking responsibility and taking ownership of this game. throw from Gill. Reed. His header collected by Jamie Draper and volleys straight on. Head on by Gill again, sent high into the sky by Downs. Can Reed bring it down? No, he can't. Woodward back to Woods. On the volley, Woods clears as far as Woolridge. Line, the captain, wayward ball under pressure from Kyle Carey. Downs, steaming in with a challenge there is Wormleighton. All good bounce for Liam Reed, and it's been called as offside anyway against the top scorer. As it was heading towards the left side of the box. Reed giving chase, but it's probably going to be a task too far anyway. As it's taken out of his hands now with the free kick awarded by the linesman. And bad news for Bedworth. They are 1-0 down at home to Loughborough Students, so the relegation race is hotting up. Only 4 points in it between Bedworth and Rugby. Nicholson to Shorrock on the halfway line. Flooding it towards Harry Wakefield, just edged away from it by Simon Olcott. Levin dives onto the loose ball. That's exactly what Hinckley have got to do now. Just shut up shop, not allow Coventry Sphinx in. They started time wasting in the 15th minute, Hinckley. And that time wasting is going to be ramped up now. That's not the best of kicks from Levin, straight out for a throw-in. Level with the Coventry Sphinx penalty area. It's got them away from their own danger zone, but given the ball straight away. Percy along the touchline. It's over Hayward. Hinckley can only find Ronnie Nicholson. Shorrock with the freedom of Coventry. Plays it behind Burrows to Jack Downs. Space opens up for Carey for a crossing opportunity. All good bobble, nearly taking it away from Carey's possession, but he twists and turns away from Wormleighton. Is eventually barreled over by Wormleighton. Referee says nothing doing as it's cleared by the right back. All the way back to Woods. Hinckley saying, just keep coming at us. Show us what you got. Sphinx knocking it around the ballpark at the back. Nicholson to Shorrock. Sends a long one towards the danger zone. Woodward brings it down for Jordan Hayward. And the offside line brings it back to Hinckley. Gill to line again. Louis Gill. Hard pressed to keep hold of that ball, but he's got a throw in out of it. Percy sticking his boot in from behind. And Sphinx make their third change. And it's Jordan Hayward leaving the field. Rowan Nui on for Jordan Hayward on the right side of the front three. Liam Reed trapped in the corner. Across, straight to the boot of Nicholson. Followed across his own backyard by Downs. To open up some space for Shorrock. Curls it behind Woolridge. Hinckley moving out again after the intersection at the back line. Swinging a miss by Nicholson, but caught Michael Armstrong out and allowed it to roll back with Charlie Woods between the sticks. 20 to go here at Sphinx Drive. Hinckley a goal up, but a man down. Shorrock strides on. Callum Woodward. Jack Downs indecisive of what to do then. Nearly allowed Burrows to snatch the ball from under his nose, but with a bit of help from Nicholson, he's able to keep the ball with the Blues. Woodward. Towards Harry Wakefield, not been involved as much as he would have liked this afternoon. Shorrock. To Callum Woodward, through ball for Carey. And the offside flag is up again. Coventry Sphinx just can't seem to get going in this second half. They ended the first half well. The last 20 minutes belonged to the sky blue and whites. But the second half, Hinckley are just shutting up shop. Crystal Palace have taken the lead at home to Brighton once more. It's 2-1 to the Eagles. Ipswich still 1-0 against Wolverhampton Wanderers. And West Ham have equalised at home to Bournemouth. The goal kick from Laban on the head of Ronnie Nicholson. Callum Woodward looking for a Sphinx option. There was no one there on this near side. Throw in deep into the Sphinx half for Hinckley. Reed, Burrows, knocks it out for another throw, this time off the outstretched boot of Kyle Carey. Line. Woolridge dispossessed and Carey dribbling his way out of danger. And it's a perfect ball onto the chest of Harry Wakefield, slightly under hit towards Rowan Newey, not helped by the bobbles on the pitch. With a bit of help from Joe Percy, Newey trying to get onto it, and he's raced back and only runs it into touch just as he won it back from Michael Armstrong. It's down line towards Burrows, Redhead mops it up. Newey, pirouette. Tried the 1-2 with Harry Wakefield. Couldn't find Newey, but Jack Downs is there, barged off it by Woolridge. Poor passing in the midfield, allows Sphinx back onto it though. Hinckley stacking everyone back and inviting Sphinx to run at them. Shorrock asking for offside against Carey. This time the flag stays down. Carey against Woolridge. The path is blocked. It's down line with Shorrock. Woodward takes over. Nodded up and out by Wormleighton. Downs. His header collected by Reed, who asks a lot of Louis Gill on the far side, but Gill has got there before he goes out for the throw. And smacks it out of Joe Percy for a Hinckley throw-in. 10 yards down line from the halfway line. So as it stands, Grantham Town will be relegated today, alongside Walsall Wood, who resigned from the league back in October. Sphinx, though not mathematically safe with Rugby's defeat, Rugby would have to win all of their remaining games and score 24 goals more than Coventry Sphinx, which is pretty unlikely. Percy floats towards the halfway line. Wakefield trying to evade capture. Appeals for high boot against Redhead. Whistle stays silent. Shorrock. Carey, overlap being made by Shorrock. Look for Harry Wakefield, sent high into the sky by Woolridge. Carey couldn't control, and referee was going to blow the whistle, then does now blow it for a slide in from behind on Armstrong. Sphinx want Hinckley to get a march on here to get us underway sharpish with only 15 minutes to go, and Sphinx are going to make change number 4. Patrick Zito getting ready, so Sphinx could be going to a wing-back formation. Free kick nodded down by Reed, behind to Gill. Couldn't keep it in, throw in Coventry Sphinx in their own backyard. Percy's throw. Wakefield's header collected by Louis Gill and just blasts it straight to the goalkeeper, Charlie Woods. And there's plenty of space on this near side for Shorrock to utilise. Carey's making the run. Shorrock ducks into midfield. Through the centre circle. bounces behind him, and here is Jack Downs. Hinckley's shape saving them at the moment. And it's Idris Hosseini who's getting ready for Coventry Sphinx. Percy. Downs, and it was behind Rowan Nui, blasted away by Humphreys. Was he looking for a spectacular effort there on Charlie Woods' goal? I don't think he was. I think it was more of a stick your laces through it clearance. Shorrock. Redhead playing a little deeper than usual. Across to Jack Downs. Nui the target again. Ben Humphreys snatches it away from the teenager. Surely an offside flag raised against Reed. He didn't even make a stride towards the ball. Knew that the whistle was coming, and Hosseini is going to replace Callum Woodward for Coventry Sphinx. Well, you don't need me to tell you that Idris Hosseini loves a late goal. Only one of the goals he scored for Coventry Sphinx has not been in added time. So Jack Downs takes over the captaincy. Downs. Floating ball looks for Jack Redhead. Humphreys gets his bounce on that one, headed on by Line. And Downs ensures that Burrows won't get to the second. It's after a throw in front of the Willie Nib stand. Shorrock. Able to get the ball on, and that will be halfway for another throw in for Coventry Sphinx. Frustrating times for Sphinx. They're having all the possession, but can't break Hinckley down. Draper, cross field. Shorrock picks it up. Sphinx need a sense of urgency here that's been lacking in the second half. Jack Downs. Percy. Still knocking it around in the mid part of the pitch. Hosseini. Nui will give chase, and the flag is raised against Rowan Nui. Offside against the teenage forward. As it stands, Corn still 1-0 up at home to Rugby. So as long as it stays that way, Sphinx. But a nail's width away from safety. Trevor nods up the goal kick from Laban. Reed goes to ground. Referee says nothing doing for Hosseini. Charged down by Armstrong. Downs. It's collected in the centre circle by Line. Woolridge, the right back. And Woods sees that coming all the way and gathers despite the best efforts of Burrows. Woods throw. Shorrock marches on down the left-hand side. Nui making the run, but it's poked out by Woolridge, and we're going to need another match ball. Sphinx have made all their attacking changes. They've still got Pat Zito on the bench as a centre-back if he's needed. It's been a frustrating end to the season for Coventry Sphinx. But that incredible run after the turn of the year has put them in a comfortable position. Jack Downs will make it even more comfortable. First real effort that Sphinx have had in the second half, and it was a real hit and hope from the Sphinx captain. An ironic chant of the Sphinx army from the left of us saying we've had a shot. Hosseini's header out on the far side, and Sphinx are going to make their last call. It's Jamie Draper off and Patrick Zito on. Well, fair play to the Hinckley fans in the corner of the Willie Nibs stand. They are making a right old racket. Zito will let that ball roll into touch for a goal kick in his first action of the game. Hinckley have not made a single change yet of the four men on the bench. Zito strolling towards the midfield. Carey the target. His header is headed on itself by Line. Down to Carey. The Sphinx passing has been poor, it must be said. Jack Downs, space out wide, and Nicholson is played in. Curling it to no one in particular. It's not the best of balls from Nicholson. And really a hallmark of this second half of Coventry Sphinx. All the possession, but doing very little with it. Away. And Patrick Zito a little heavy-handed there and trying to get the ball back from Liam Reid, launched himself into the back of the Hinckley striker. Free kick coming from the left-hand side for Louis Gill. Up and out by Nicholson. Downs. Flowed towards Nui, and Nui has just headed it straight out for a throw-in. On the halfway line to Hinckley. 7 minutes to go. Still Coventry Sphinx 0, Hinckley LRFC 1. Zito takes a tumble, shove in the back from Louis Gill. No effort to play the ball there, just an effort to stop Sphinx in their tracks. Straight behind the goal. Straight behind the goal. Goal kick to come from Jake Laban. Saini beaten mid-air by Burrows, but it will head back to Charlie Woods, and Woods launches it straight out to Shorrock. Now Jack Downs turns away from Burrows. Switches to play for Zito. Waits for an option. Plays it out wide with Fasani. Jack Downs. Wrestling for the ball with Armstrong, the scorer of the only goal so far. Is cross-headed away by Burrows. Line leaping up for it, but it's brought down by Downs. Only Orange in front of him though. Cleared as far as Zito. Zito up for Wakefield. Towering header by Wilm Leighton. Shorrock. Kyle Carey. Through ball for Redhead. Redhead to Carey again. He's going to have to do it himself here, Kyle Carey. Still going, Kyle Carey. Runs it into Fasani. Not into the area. Kyle Carey towards Laban. And Laban blocks it with the chest. Who got the last touch as a goal kick? Sphinx needed more of that in this second half. determined run from Kyle Carey, showing his quality for all to see. Great knock on by Fasani into the path of Kyle Carey, but Lemon made himself big. He stood up and was counted. And with 4 minutes plus stoppages to go, is that finally the wake-up call for Coventry Sphinx. Towards the left-hand side, off the head of Patrick Zito, and after a throw-in behind the former Villa centre-back. Deep into Sphinx turf, it's a throw-in for Hinckley. It's exactly what Hinckley wants and what they need at this stage. Gill. Is it back from Reed? Humphreys. Line in the centre of the park. Woolmayton for Gill. Stabbed away by Joe Percy and headed on for Redhead. Look for Rowan Nui, blocked off by Humphreys, the centre-back. Reed, urged to drive on. Fasani steals it from under his nose, cleared by Percy. Nui's up for it, headed on by Nui to Wakefield. Nui takes it on, looking for the through ball for Kyle Carey. He's waited it beautifully. Oh, it's just too close to Lemon, only just. And a Hinckley man has gone down with a potential injury, and the referee indicating he is adding this time on. Hinckley could be forced into their first change of the match. A reminder of the subs for the Knitters: Chris Jones, Jared Acton, Aaron Nuttall and Chris Mason. And there has been a goal at Farley Way. Rugby have equalised. Io Lakuti has pulled it back for Rugby Town. So as it stands, Coventry Sphinx will need another point to guarantee survival. It looks like it's heading to next week. Grantham 2-0 down at home to Wellingborough. They are relegated today if it stays that way. Bedworth losing 1-0 at home to Loughborough Students. And Lye are losing 1-0 at Anstey. It's a big point for Rugby. It takes them to within 3 of Bedworth. And it's the captain, Joe Lyne, who's receiving some treatment on the, looks like the right ankle. So we've got 1 minute of normal time left, plus stoppages. There haven't been too many stoppages in this second half, so I'd say 2 minutes added time. It will be a drop ball back into the hands of Jake Labban, the Hinckley goalkeeper. And there's a change coming for Hinckley. I can only imagine it's going to be Lyne taken off. And it is Joe Lyne being replaced. And who's coming on? Substitution for Hinckley LRFC, replacing number 4, Joe Lyne, is number 12, Chris Jones.